वेलकम टू योगीराम पॉडकास्ट। आज का ये पॉडकास्ट बहुत ही स्पेशल होने वाला है। यस, फ्रॉम स्मॉल सिटी टू परस्यू इन वर्ल्ड क्रूज, he has been into many roles, from managing airline operation to five-star hotel, helping guiding many people, and as director and principal of well-renowned hotel management institute. I am welcoming our star guest on Yogiram 214 channel, Ashish Bhatt Sir, Dean of Faculty of Hotel Management at Bhabha University, to share his life journey. वेलकम आशीष सर, आपका योगीराम पॉडकास्ट में स्वागत है। वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग
Good morning.
सर। टू स्टार्ट विथ, कैन यू प्लीज टेल अस अबाउट योर जर्नी इन हॉस्पिटैलिटी एंड एकेडमिक सेक्टर ओवर पास्ट 34 years? सर कैसे रहे 34 years? व्हाट वाज योर जर्नी? व्हाट वाज अप डाउन्स क्या है सर? प्लीज बताइए।
See, at present I am 57 years old, and let me start with a little bit about my childhood. I was born in Korba, this Chhattisgarh. Yes. And there's a company called Bharat Aluminium Company, Balku. My father was working there. That time it was in 1968. I was born in 14 February 1968.
Oh,
So
great.
Champa was the railway station, and Balko was the township. So Champa was around 60 kilometers from there. There was a mission hospital called Champa Mission Hospital. I was born there, and I spent my childhood in Balko, Korba. Korba was the tehsil. Now it has become a district after Chhattisgarh has become this separated from Madhya Pradesh. So I spent my childhood there. I studied in central school. And after the retirement of my father, we shifted to Bhilai. My father got settled in Durg. And so I did my schooling from Balko. And in fact, I was not keen to go to hotel management. My subject was biology in class 12th. But then there used to be a PMT, pre-medical test. Pre-medical test was conducted in Madhya Pradesh. So I took coaching there, but there were limited seats. And there were limited seats around I don't remember, 400 to 500 limited seats were there in all the medical colleges or dental colleges of Madhya Pradesh. So I appeared in 1986. Also, I appeared in in a competitive exam called National Council of Hotel Management. Hotel Management exam. So I appeared in that also. The examination center was in Jabalpur. So I appeared in that. Then I forgot about that. I was focusing on PMT. Then by any chance I couldn't make it in pre-medical test. In BDS also, my rank was very low for Bachelor of Dental Surgery. So it was in waiting list. Then I joined BSc, Bachelor of Science program in Korba. But after studying there for 2 months, I got a call from Institute of Hotel Management, Ahmedabad. At that time, there were telegrams. So I got a telegram that you have to join before 28th of August. Otherwise, your admission will get cancelled. And only 3-4 days were left. So very hurriedly, I took up a train from Champa. It was a Howrah Ahmedabad Express. It took more than 36. There were a lot of riots going on at that time. The curfew was imposed in Ahmedabad. Somehow we reached on 28th. Then I went to the institute, and then I got the admission. And then my journey began for hotel management course. That time it was 3 years diploma course. 3 years diploma course. Now that same 3 years diploma course has become a 3 years degree course. So all the Institute of Hotel Managements were merged into a council called National Council of Hotel Management, which was governed by Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. So that time it was a diploma. So diploma was given by Directorate of Technical Education of that respective state. So I did that 3 years diploma course from 1986 to 1989.
Mhm.
And in 1989, I got a job in a company, not in a hotel, but in a company called Gujarat Spinners Limited
Mhm.
as a guest house officer. So I there worked for some time. Then I couldn't like that because what I learned in hotel management was not practically implemented there.
Mhm.
It was a very traditional company run by very traditional family,
Mhm.
Bagrodiyas from Rajasthan. It was
Mhm.
a spinning company, spinning mill, basically.
Mhm.
So I quit that job and then I joined a five-star hotel, the resort in Mumbai, Aksa Beach.
Okay.
Worked there for some time. And then, but meanwhile, I applied for a company called P&O Cruises. It was a cruise company.
Great.
Cruise are ships converted into hotels. You might have seen in many
Goa
places.
and right, sir. Goa, Maharaja and all that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right.
Cruises are basically more popular in Europe and American continent. Now that popularity is coming in India also. So I joined 1993. I joined that cruise company and worked there for a few years. So in fact, that cruise used to do um, world cruise also.
वाह ग्रेट सारे अलग अलग जगहों पे आप गए होंगे
Yes, yes.
ओके
And I learned a lot there also about hotel management. Then working on 1997, I got married. Then after some time, I came back to India and joined another hotel here. It was based in Raipur. And then working there for some time in Raipur, I joined a airline called Air Deccan
ओह
as
यस
airport manager in Raipur. And there also I worked for some time. And then I got another job offer from Saudi Arabia.
ग्रेट
So I thought let's better go to Saudi Arabia for some more time, make more
राइट
money. And I went there, but there was some contractual issue. So eventually, with the help of embassy, I came back. They
ओके
have confiscated my passport.
ओह
But
माय
then normally it happens when you go to Gulf countries like Saudi Arab, they
गॉड
keep their passports for 2 years.
राइट
There's a
राइट
2 year contract. So somehow then I was unable to come back, but I went to embassy through some contact. I was able to get my passport and I came back.
ग्रेट
Then I decided to leave the industry and join the education industry. So I joined People's University in 2010, 9, sorry. And there I worked as a professor and then I was promoted as principal. After working in People's University, I joined same in the People's University is basically based in Bhopal. So in the same city, I joined our RKDF group as principal. And in 2015, I moved to Meerut. There I worked in a group of institutions called Diwan Group. There also I worked as director in Hotel Management Institute. During the COVID era, I came back to Bhopal, and again I am same in the same group called IRKDF Group as principal of the Hotel Management Department. Rather dean. Presently I am dean of Hotel Management Department. It is Bhabha University. The university is called Bhabha University.
राइट
So presently I am located here only. So this is how I have completed 34 years, partly with the
प्लीज
industry, partly with the education.
ओके सर व्हाट इंस्पायर्ड यू टू ट्रांजिट फ्रॉम हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री टू एकेडमिक्स एकदम से हॉस्पिटैलिटी से लेकर अब एकेडमिक्स में आप क्या आपको सबसे ज्यादा इंस्पायर किया
Inspiration was one factor, but it was a bit accidental. When I came back from Saudi Arabia, I was looking for a better opportunity in industry. But at the same time, didn't want to part with my family because my family was located in Raipur and I didn't want to leave Raipur. So I thought if I join some place in industries, I have to relocate somewhere in big cosmopolitan city.
Mhm.
It might be difficult. So one of my known person, he was in that People's University. He offered me, why don't you join here for the
Okay.
time being?
Mhm.
And incidentally, I went into that education field. But then there I got the inspiration that what I have learned in hotel management, I can really spread that kind of knowledge and awareness within the students coming from the rural areas and semi-urban areas, because this kind of course was not very much known at that
Popular.
time in Madhya Pradesh.
Mhm.
So uh, I uh, I traveled a lot of rural areas and semi-urban areas from 2008 to 2009 to 2016, 15,
Mhm.
and was able to get lots of students converted into the doing this course. And presently, many of my students are really well placed in industry after passing out. So
Right.
that gives me quite satisfaction
Right.
that I have done something good for the people,
Right.
my home state.
Sir, how integrated your industrial experience into teaching methodology? आपने इसको कैसे इंटीग्रेट किया, पूरे एक्सपीरियंस को पूरा निचोड़, 34 years ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस उसको जो आपका क्रूज पे था, एंड देन गेटिंग दैट थिंग इनटू, जैसा आपने बताया कि एट दैट टाइम जो हॉस्पिटलिटी इंडस्ट्री एजुकेशन की जब मैं बात करूं, दैट वाज नॉट दैट डेवलप्ड, सो हाउ यू इंटीग्रेटेड दैट, हाउ यू डेवलप्ड दैट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम?
Yes. See, one thing, what I have experienced after working in academics, that if you really want to teach students, you should have working experience.
Right.
There are many people who are joining colleges and universities as lecturers and professors, and uh, but they directly come from the academics. They do their graduation, post graduation, maybe PhD also, and then they come to the.
No
But
hands-on experience they have.
so that industry experience is not within them. So
Right.
what they teach is just the theoretical part.
Right.
Practical aspect also they are able to teach.
Mhm.
Whatever is given in what they have learned in their graduation or post graduation, or maybe what they have seen through the books. But
Mhm.
exactly when you actually learn, do the things practically in the industry, it is in India, our education system, there is a big gap between the industry and the academics.
Yes.
There is a big gap. Whatever you are teaching, whatever course, like engineering, paramedical, pharmacy, any medical course, whatever, um, technical and non-technical courses, there is a big gap. So what you are learning in college, students find different aspects, different things in the industry. Practical. Even for example, if you do MBA, what they are teaching in MBA, what when they go to do jobs, they have to do something else. So that makes a lot of students get make confusion within the students. So I always suggest people who are teaching that why don't you yourself do some industry work, or why don't you yourself go and visit industries and see how the working is done. So you will be able to give that kind of knowledge to the students. So I really feel that this kind of industry visits, industrial exposure is important
Mhm.
for people to teach. Now, even in fact, the UGC in AICT, they
Mhm.
have come out with a position called professor with practical experience. I mean,
Okay.
if you are not PhD or you're not that kind of, you don't have that PG and out, but
Mhm.
if you have a considerable experience,
Mhm.
so now they are thinking in that line also.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Sir, what challenges you have faced while managing hotel operations or cruise? You have been into various sector into hospitality, subsector into hospitality. So, and how you overcome them? क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आई, क्या क्या चैलेंजेस आए, कुछ एक कोई वाक्या, दिस वाज वेरी टफ बिकॉज ऑफ सिचुएशंस, एंड हाउ यू ओवरकम दैट?
Yeah, I will tell that working in India and working abroad is different.
यस सर, यस.
when you are working in India, you are with the same kind of mindset, people with same kind of mindset, same kind of attitude, behavior,
Mhm.
culture.
Mhm.
That so you are able to cope up,
Okay.
and you find it quite bit easy.
Okay.
Communication also, not much English is required if you are working in North India.
Right. Right.
South Indian, of course, you require good English. But as far as West India or North India is concerned, if you're working in industry
Mhm.
in these places, then communication, part of English, part of Hindi, a part of the local language can help.
Right.
So working in India is different, and the kind of challenges working here are different. But when you work abroad,
Mhm.
there is a different culture, different mindset. So you have to cope up with that, and a lot of people find it difficult, quite difficult initially to cope up. But nowadays, many thousands of Indians are working abroad in different fields. So Indians have a aptitude of adjusting in different places, different culture.
Right.
That's the base. That's a good quality of Indians. I don't find this quality in other nationalities. Indians have a very good quality. You will find Indians everywhere in world,
Right.
wherever you go. Even when I was working in cruise, I found people working in Hawaii, Indians in Hawaii.
Mhm.
Hawaii is a place, and even there is a our cruise used to go to a island called Bermuda Island.
Mhm.
That is near to the Bermuda Triangle. There
Uh-huh.
also I found Indians.
Oh, great, great, great.
Caribbean also I found Indians. Caribbean, in fact, Indians are living there since last 100 200 years
Mhm.
during the Britisher era. So working in foreign, uh, technically and as far as the systems are concerned, it was easy because they are working a very clear cut, very specific, targeted,
Mhm.
and they appreciate the performance. If you do the good work, your performance is always appreciated. You get that kind of success you need. And if you work in India, some other things also come in between, like your networking, or maybe some personal relationships, or family background also checked. Sometimes criminal backgrounds are also checked, and some kind of some amount of politics is also there. What we call as office politics. So
Augmentation of JD occurs usually.
so that is there. uh, there are many instances, like in India, when I started my first job in it was a spinning mill, which I told you.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what I learned, it was a professional course what I learned, but
Mhm.
I was expected to manage the labor mess and the labor canteen and the officers guest house, officers mess. So there the mindset was different. It was a
Mhm.
Marwadi company basically.
Okay.
So they were strictly vegetarian,
Mhm.
and their working methods were very old fashioned and traditional. So I was a misfit there basically. And then unfortunately what happened, and it went on strike. The laborers went on strike in the mill,
Oh my.
and then for 2 3 months it was closed. So that time I had to manage it was a very big challenge to manage
Right.
that kind of place, people, time. It was a very different time.
Mhm.
That made me to quit that place. I should continue working with hotel industry. What I have
Mhm.
learned in my course, I should work in the hotel industry. And next, when I joined the five-star hotel in Mumbai, it was a learning experience. That hotel is located in Aksa Beach.
Okay.
Aksa Beach is a place where a lot of film shootings go on.
Mhm.
So a lot of in that hotel, a lot of film stars used to come visit
Great.
in restaurants, and they used to stay in the hotels. So in those days, I used to meet a lot of film stars,
Great.
Sunny Deol, Dimple Kapadia, many
Mhm.
film stars were there. So there the challenges were different, and I it really helped me because my next job was in cruise. So
Mhm.
their working there helped me to get that cruise job. When I applied in the cruise, the recruitment office was based in Mumbai only. It was a London-based company, P&O Cruises, and there the Britishers used to come and take interviews. So I will tell you how I applied for cruise. I was working in a five-star hotel. So accidentally I saw a advertisement in Hindustan Times. So that time I was in Delhi for vacation with my sister. So I applied, and then very less time was left. The deadline was, I think 10 to 15 days deadline was there, and it was difficult. That time there was no online applications.
Right.
So I made my resume, took the printout, application, certificates, and then I kept in the envelope, and then I sent it by speed post, international speed post. So there is a post office in Gold Market, New Delhi. I sent it to London by speed post. Now I was not confident whether that has reached or not.
Right.
So after 10 days I visited there. And then I asked that guy in the post office whether it has reached or not. So he checked it through my receipt and said it has reached. And some HR person has received it. So then nothing came. Many long time I waited, but no call came. But then it was that when I applied, it was month of May. Then in the month of October, I got interview call.
4 to 5 months later. Okay.
So I went to the office. The Britishers were there. Some British recruitment officers were there. They took my interview. It was an interview for 1.5 hours.
Great.
They tested my patience, my knowledge, everything. It was a very long interview. It was a good experience. And then I got a call in the month of November. Before joining, I was given some training there. Then I joined in January. Working in India is quite different. But so now this new generation, they are better equipped.
Right.
And their mindset is also different. So they take very less time to adjust.
Right.
They are the global people now.
Right.
We were not that kind of global people.
Yeah, the exposure was not there.
Yes. The present generation is quite exposed with the internet, with the Google, everything, with the social media. So they find it quite easy.
The Google Map, because of n number of videos and photos, it's really helped them a lot.
Of course.
So how these experience into various domains, subdomains, help you into developing curriculum into hotel management program?
When I switched over to the academics, the institute where I worked is People's. So People's was a group of institutions. Then later it became university.
Right.
Government declared it university. So there first time I was involved in developing the curriculum and the syllabus. When I started researching the syllabus and curriculum, I found it that it was very typically designed, typically set up, and very less practical exposure was given. There was much focus on the theoretical part. 70% was theoretical part, and very less time was given on the practical part. So I developed that curriculum in a different way. I did it 60% theory and 40% practical.
Wow.
So my management was quite this thing. Why you are imbibing so much of practical because practical takes a lot of finances.
Right.
Requires fund. Because with self-financing institutions, it is difficult for them.
Right.
Told this director that theoretical part doesn't help much. If we equip our students practically here itself in the institute, we'll be able to better place them in the industry. Because after going to industry, the students find quite, because I will tell you, the IHM which I studied was a government IHM. So that time our equipment used to come from ILO, International Labour Organization. All foreign made equipments used to come, and the fund was given by the government. So we didn't find any problem with the fund. But in the private institutions, there is always a problem of funds in the finances. So what the institutions emphasis is on the theoretical part. Let's do the theoretical more, and the students will take the practical exposure in the industry. But then I said that won't help, because the students, after doing the covering the theoretical part, when they go, they find it quite difficult, because they don't have that exposure. They find it difficult to accommodate. So if we expose them here in the institute itself, it will be better for them. So People's, I was successful. People's University, I was successful in doing the practicals, and then I developed for another university. I won't name that university. I developed for another university, same kind of curriculum and design. Although I was not recruited there, because that time, meanwhile, I had shifted to Meerut. So that university is also based in Bhopal. And then in Meerut, we were running a 4 years course and a 3 years diploma course. The 4 years course was affiliated to Uttar Pradesh Technical University, and the 3 years diploma course was affiliated to Directorate Technical Education, UP government. So I suggested to my management that you can also start this 3 years program, which is governed by National Council. The National Council, what happens, they conduct a common entrance examination in India. They make a merit list, and students appearing in National Council exams, they join the IHMs. In the National Council, government-run IHMs are also affiliated, and some private-run IHMs are also affiliated. So they get easily the admissions, because private institutions, their focus is more on admissions part. If once they get the admissions, very few institute focus on the development of students in academics. They are more focused that if you get good admissions, you will get good revenue. So profit is the main criteria for the, obviously it is part of that, but then many private institutions are doing good. They are doing good academically, and many are not doing. So then the Meerut, I invested, I got the management agreed to invest some good amount of fund, and then we got another course, 3 years degree program from National Council. So that time we were running 3 courses, 4 years course, 3 years course, and 3 years diploma course. And also we introduced 1.5 year craft courses. These are also run by National Council. So variety of courses were available to students, and students had the options to choose from what the course they need, as per their budget, as per their mind aptitude, and then definitely it helps. So I feel that in a particular field, now presently is a lot of focus given on the skill development. So skill development part in our days, this kind of thing were not there, skill development. So skill development is done, and more focus is given on the development of skills. So I feel that any kind of course, any kind of field should have short-term courses, mid-term courses, and long-term courses. That helps the student to choose whatever as per their aptitude.
Right. So, sir, in context of this only, how do you ensure that your students are well prepared for the industry after preparation of courses, curriculum?
We have imbibed industrial training programs. One full semester of 5 to 6 months is devoted for industrial training program.
Great.
So, for example, take this 4 years degree course. This 4 year degree course, in the final year, there is a specialization. The students want to, our course is divided into various specializations. That specialization is food production, food and beverage service, front office, housekeeping, marketing. So that specialization we teach in the final year. But
Okay.
before specialization, we send in third year we send students for industrial exposure training program, and we have tie up with various 5-star, 4-star hotels in India, and we send them there. The students go and work in each department, and they learn the operations part, the methodology part, the procedures, the organizational setup, the hierarchy, how the operations are conducted, and what are the records and formats which are maintained offline and online both. So they get a good quite of experience. And after experience, after the training program, they are supposed to make a training report.
Mhm.
They have to make some case studies also. So in this way, we help students to integrate the academics, what we have taught, with the practical exposure. And in the final year, obviously, part of the final year goes in campus placements and giving interviews. So is the students find it quite easy.
Uh, Sir, what are the key difference you observe between working in hospitality industry and academics?
Hospital when you work in hospitality industry,
Mhm.
uh, sometimes you have to see do the things with the situation. Suppose example, we have been taught that, for example, in the front office, I'll take an example. Front office, a student, the employee is there.
Mhm.
Guest comes, he has to greet the guest. He or she would. He has to greet. They have to greet the guest, and then do the registration part, which is called check-in, and then help the guest to proceed to the room. But in industry, if this we have taught this to the students, but it is not necessary that same thing will happen there. Situations are different. Uh, Maybe the industries they make their own SOPs
Mhm.
depending on the type of city the hotel is located, or the timing of guest arrival and departure. So when the students learn, that is the basic concept they have learned. When they go to industry, they do they do the same thing, but in a different way. They might be doing the check-in or registration. Nowadays, just say, for example, the check-in or registration is done online. Before the
Mhm.
arrival of the guest, it is
Mhm.
done. Only the guest has to do the signature part, and they proceed to the room.
Mhm.
Even many hotels, what they do, they pick up the guest from the airport or the railway station, and they do the same part in the vehicle itself, in the taxi or the cab with the guest.
Mhm.
So that much time is
See.
there's a lot of competitiveness in the industry. So every hotel develop their own SOPs.
Mhm.
Concept is same, that say check-in and registration has to be done, but then they develop their own SOP to save time, to save energy, and to save manpower, and they apply it to the practical aspect.
Mhm.
So obviously, the basic concepts are taught to the students, but in industry, you might find it different. And it doesn't it doesn't once the students get accommodated, because we already have exposed so much practically with in the institute and the industry training program,
Mhm.
students find it easy.
Right. Sir, please share a memorable story from your career in hotel management जो आपको बहुत अच्छी लगी हो हाँ ये था वो वाक्य बहुत अच्छा लगा ऐसा हुआ था
uh, yes, there are a lot of things.
Definitely.
When many times you get recollected, many times you don't get recollect. First, I will tell you about my hotel experience.
Mhm.
Um, I was working five-star hotel The Resort. So there used to be a lot of film stars coming. So
Mhm.
once one lady came, and uh, I was quite busy. I was doing something. I was positioned in coffee shop. I was quite busy taking orders and getting the things done. So one lady came and asked, can she get something very quick? I
Okay.
said, do you see that there is no place here to sit? You have to wait for some time. Sorry.
Mhm.
And I can't help it. But my manager rushed in and said, oh, just wait, just wait. And he started talking to that lady. Then I asked my colleague, who's this lady? My manager
Mhm.
has rushed in and
Mhm.
she is film actress Neelam.
Oh.
And I didn't recognize because as a frontline employee, we are supposed to recognize the people
Okay.
and you
Okay.
have to address them with their name.
Okay.
So then I saw her very keenly. Then I said yes, yes, she's the actress Neelam. But then I learned it. Because it was very initial part of my career. But when I learned
Mhm.
that, so then a lot of film actors like Sunny Deol and Dimple Kapadia, Sunny Deol had a permanent room there. So I
Wow.
was in charge of looking after that room.
Great.
So
Wow.
I got a very good interaction with Sunny Deol,
Wow.
and he was very comfortable person, very friendly, and we had developed a good friendship. But that later on, you can't just continue that friendship. It's part of that employment.
Right.
So the it was a good part. Then in airlines, when I was working in airlines, um, once what happened, um, my flight was from Raipur to Mumbai. So there was some technical snag. It was an Airbus 320.
Oh.
100 passengers, 100 to 180 passengers, sorry, 180 passengers were there.
Mhm.
And the flight which came from Mumbai was supposed to take off back to Mumbai and it got cancelled.
Oh
So
my.
Raipur is a big, not very big city. 180 passengers started shouting
Right.
for each
Right.
other.
Right.
Then I accommodated all 180 passengers in the hotels of Raipur. So there
Oh.
are like quite few hotels. Rooms were not
Oh.
available.
At that time, huh?
So it was a very tiresome experience. Whole night I was woken up. I didn't sleep, and I accommodated many passengers, but lots of passengers were still stranded in airport. And
Mhm.
early morning, somehow that technical snag was another flight came from Delhi, and then technical snag was removed. Then we, in a very hurried manner, we got every 180 passengers collected from different hotels of the city,
Oh.
and then boarded them, and then flight took off.
Wow.
So whole 24 hours I got working there. So,
Hmm.
so industry, sometime it happens. For example, when there is a season time,
Hmm. Speak
uh,
out.
you might be working for quite long hours, 12 to 14 hours, maybe. And when there is no season, you won't have time. You won't do much. Maybe 4 to 6 years, for 6 hours you work and go home.
Mhm.
So this hotel industry is quite different. When there is business, you have to work a lot. When there's no business, you can relax. Not like other industries when the duty timings are fixed
Right.
or different timings are fixed and you just go at that time, come back at that time. That's
Right.
done.
Little bit.
Industry is quite different. In cruise, when I was working cruise, we used to do a lot of port calls. The passengers who are traveling the cruise, when
Mhm.
the ship is docked in a port,
Mhm.
the passengers are sent for the local tours.
Mhm.
So uh, what happened? I was escorting one tour. I was escorting a group in Los
Mhm.
Angeles. So there were around 15 passengers who were with me, and me and my one of my colleague were escorting them. And
Mhm.
what happens that the ship has a very fixed time. They talk at a time, and then they have to just morning 8 a.m. they have docked. Then
Mhm.
evening 8 p.m. they have to leave that berth in the dock. Otherwise, they are fined. Their penalties and fines are there by the
Okay.
port authorities.
Okay.
If you are, even if you are more than 5 minutes, you have to dock more than 5 minutes. Heavy
Mhm.
penalties are imposed.
Mhm.
So what happened? I was escorting the tour. somehow the passengers were quite lethargic and we got delayed.
Oh.
And at that time, there were no satellite phones or mobile phones, so I could not
Hmm.
contact. When I reached in the dock, the ship gates were closed,
My God.
and ship was about to move away from the berth.
My God.
And then I waved to the deck person that with me 15 passengers are there. So
Mhm.
they didn't mind that they will lose 15 passengers. They will lose
Okay.
the business of 15 passengers. They were quite strict with the timings.
Oh.
So, but then captain was quite bit good person. He again opened the gates
Okay.
and the ship. We got into the ship. Otherwise, we would have to be flown to some other city.
Right, right.
So, yeah. So this happens. 15 passengers. They all the 15 passengers were quite very feeling very sorry because of them. We got late.
Mhm.
And then I was also reprimanded that why didn't you explain to the passengers that the
Oh,
timing is important.
right.
Not like India that okay चलेगा 5 मिनट 10 मिनट चल जाएगा.
Yeah, right,
So
right.
time management is very important.
Mhm.
You cannot be late by 1 minute. So that
Mhm.
was a experience for me that why the time is so much important for these people.
Sir, moving to the next question, how you stay updated with the latest trend in hospitality industry?
Uh, yes, there are quite a lot of changes have come in the industry.
Mhm.
Um, if we talk about the operations part or the methodology part, a lot of
Mhm.
changes have come with the globalization. People's taste, people's choices have changed in India
Right.
also.
Mhm.
The fast food, which was not very much prevalent in
Mhm.
earlier in 1980s or 1990s, now it is quite common. People liking for fast foods, and it is available in every corner of big cities.
Right.
And people are aware about international food like Italian food or Mexican food or Chinese food or continental food. So a lot of awareness have come with the internet, Google to the people,
Mhm.
and this has compelled the industry to do changes.
Right. Right.
Initially, initially the old timers used to go to the hotel and they order for the similar set of food, like okay, give me some North Indian food, South Indian food, something like that.
Okay.
But now they want a different kind of variety. They want
Oh.
fusion between the Indian food and the continental food. So that also has inspired many hotels to come up with fusion food.
Mhm.
And the present generation is quite very experimental.
Right.
They do a lot of experimentation. They
Mhm.
they like. The old timers will maybe may not like, but the present generation they are experimental. They go out to different new locations, different try out new kind of things. So definitely, um, we also have to cope up with that, and
Right.
through online modes or through offline modes. Wherever I go to seminars and conferences, I obviously try to see what new I can see there so that I
Mhm.
can transfer it to my students
Right.
and update them. And nowadays, in the classroom also, many times it happens what you are teaching, students are already aware of that.
Ah,
They Google the Google Baba, it tells everything.
right.
Just
Right.
type a word and a lot of sites will open and so students are aware. Students are aware. So the the theoretical teaching is slowly getting irrelevant.
Okay.
Maybe
Mhm.
after 10-15 years, you will find that theoretical teaching is not needed.
AI is taken over.
What you need is the practical part.
Mhm.
How much skill a person can have inside, how many and how much person can
Mhm.
have inside, and how he can perform through those skills. That will be the major criteria to judge an employee by the HR persons. I mean, for the HR has also gone into a very drastic transformation.
Mhm.
Now, previously, the old methods of recruitment and induction are not visible nowadays.
Right.
They have also got into various transformation. And similar is with the like for the hotel industry, similar is with the operations part.
Mhm.
For example, I'll tell you the just airports. There used to be a lot of emphasis on the hospitality part that the passenger has to be taken care of. Now, with the
Mhm.
introduction of low-cost airlines, they don't serve anything inside the aircraft.
Right.
You just take the ticket, do the check-in, go
Complimentary has
inside.
been used or
Yes.
zero. Fine.
Yeah, travel and go back. When if you want anything, you have to you will be charged.
Mhm.
Previously, when I was working, passengers used to ask, "What kind of airline is this?" See the Air India or that airline, they are serving food and all that thing. So we used to tell them, "Sir, this is a low cost airline." What is low cost? What do you mean by low cost? We are paying for it. You have
Okay.
you are supposed to give us food.
Okay.
But this awareness of low cost airline gradually came.
Mhm.
People got aware that this is low cost airline. When we and I will take the ticket, I will not get any kind of service there inside the aircraft. Only I have to sit and go to my destination.
Right.
So gradually now the
Hmm.
full-fledged airlines got bankrupt. Like Jet Airways got closed.
Right. Right.
Air, like Kingfisher
Hmm.
got closed. Air India also has to be transformed.
Hmm.
So many international airlines also went low cost because they couldn't cope up with the high cost of the operations. Similar is happening with the other fields in the hotels also. The low cost budget hotels have come up. There's many low cost budget hotels have come up, and five-star hotels have to compete with them. So initially, in earlier days, where a room used to cost 15,000, 10,000, same we see in five-star hotel in 7,000, 6,000.
Hmm.
So per night. So
Hmm.
competition has increased with the advent of low cost budget
Hmm.
hotels or low cost airlines, and people demand for value of money.
Right. More into nowadays.
Yes, yes. You can see in vehicles also.
Hmm.
They want more features, less cost. That is Indian mindset.
Value for money in an
Yeah, yeah,
extended way.
yeah. But I see one more trend. Uh, I see one more trend after COVID.
Hmm.
People want to spend. People are spending money. The culture of saving is still there, but now they don't hesitate in spending money.
Okay.
Maybe the this COVID has transformed the mindset of many people,
Right. Right. Right.
and people want to enjoy life. They have seen so many deaths in those times, so
Right.
they are spending. So that has increased the business of tourism, hotels, travel. That has increased the business.